Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangriye. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 17. Last time we did verse number 16. Avinashi tu tat vidhi yena sarva idam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi tu tat vidhi yena sarva idam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi tu tat vidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. That which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Purport. This verse more clearly explains the real nature of the soul, which is spread all over the body. Anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. It is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of the pains and pleasures of the body in part or as a whole. This spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. The pains and pleasures of one body are unknown to another. Therefore, each and every body is the embodiment of an individual soul, and the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. This soul is described as 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair point in size. The Shvetashvatara Upanishad 5.9 confirms this. Balagrasya shatabhagasya shatadha kalpitasya cha bhago jivva savigneya sa cha anantayaya kalpate. When the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each part is further divided into 100 parts, each such one part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. Similarly, the same version is stated. Keshagra shatabhagasya shatamsha sadrusham maka jiva sukshma swarupoyam sankhyo kita hi chitkana. There are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms which are measured as 1/10,000th of the upper portion of the hair. Therefore, the individual particle of a spirit soul is spiritual atom smaller than the material atoms, and such atoms are innumerable. This very small spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body, and the influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body as the influence of the active principle of some medicine spreads throughout the body. This current of the spirit soul is felt all over the body as consciousness, and that is the proof of the presence of the soul. Any layman can understand that the material body minus consciousness is a dead body. And this consciousness cannot be revived in the body by any means of material administration. Therefore, consciousness is not due to any amount of material combination, but to the spirit soul. In the Mundaka Upanishad 3.1.9, the measurement of the atomic spirit soul is further explained. I'll go to the translation. The soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. This atomic soul is floating in 5 kinds of air: prana, apana, vyana, samana and udana. Is situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. When the soul is purified from the contamination of the 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. The Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling the 5 kinds of air encircling the pure soul by different kinds of sitting postures. Not for any material profit, but for liberation of the minute soul from the entanglement of the material atmosphere. So, the constitution of the atomic soul is admitted in all Vedic literatures, and it is also actually felt in practical experience of any sane man. Only the insane man can think of this atomic soul as all-pervading Vishnu Tattva. The influence of the atomic soul can be spread all over a particular body. According to the Mundaka Upanishad, this atomic soul is situated in the heart of every living entity. And because the measurement of the atomic soul is beyond the power of appreciation of the material scientists, some of them assert foolishly that there is no soul. The individual atomic soul is definitely there in the heart along with the super soul, and thus all the energies of bodily movement are emanating from this part of the body. The corpuscles which carry oxygen from lungs gather energy from the soul. When the soul passes away from this position, the activity of the blood generating fusion ceases. Medical science accepts the importance of the red corpuscles, but it cannot ascertain that the source of the energy is the soul. Medical science, however, does admit that the heart is the seat of all energies of the body. Such atomic particles of the spirit whole are compared to the sunshine molecules. In the sunshine, there are innumerable radiant molecules. Similarly, the fragmental parts of the Supreme Lord are atomic sparks of rays of the Supreme Lord, called by the name Prabha or superior energy. So, whether one follows Vedic knowledge or modern science, one cannot deny the existence of the spiritual soul, of the spirit soul in the body, and the science of the soul is explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita by personality of Godhead himself. So today we will be taking the next verse also. So when we come to it, I'll just read it out at that point of time. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome everybody to Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Mandir for today's class on the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. So we are on verse number 17 and what is the theme of this verse? The theme of this verse is the soul cannot be killed or destroyed. That is the theme of this verse. If you go to any cemetery where the body is cremated, you will always find the writing, Atma Amar Hai, यानी कि मरता नहीं है. That is the meaning. जो मरता है वो शरीर है. What dies is the body. And the next verse, 18th, it says, the body cannot be saved from dying. Body has to die, but the soul does not die. So, Krishna is telling Arjuna, fight. Don't go back. Don't say, I will not fight. Anyway, death of the body is inevitable. You cannot avoid it. Either you die or the opponent dies. Somebody has to die. But don't be afraid of death. Go and fight. Do not shirk your duty. That is the idea. If it is your duty to defend dharma, even if you have to give your life, you should fight. That is the idea. Do not shirk your duty and your responsibility. So this verse explains clearly the nature of the soul. The symptom of the soul is consciousness. Consciousness को हिंदी में क्या बोलेंगे? चेतना. Awareness. That is the meaning of consciousness. Camera takes a photo. But does it have consciousness? If it sees something shocking, will the camera stop? Or will it shout loudly? Don't do that. Nothing. It makes no difference to the camera. It will go on clicking, photo after photo. Whether it is right or whether it is wrong, it makes no difference. But if a human being, through the eye, sees the same, what happens? There is a reaction. Either yes or no, either agreeable or not agreeable. One of the two. That is consciousness. A person, even animal, sees but reacts. Even an animal will react. That is consciousness. The consciousness of the soul is restricted to the individual body. If something is happening inside me, I am having some pain in the stomach, only I will know, others will not know. If my tooth is aching, only I will know, others will not know. So this is consciousness, but this consciousness, which is spread all over the body, is limited to that body only. So that is why this consciousness is known as individual consciousness. Why we are explaining this like this, you will come to know shortly. No person, okay. The consciousness of the soul is restricted to the individual body. It spreads all over the body, but not beyond the body or to another body. What is the first point that we covered is the symptom of the soul is consciousness. Okay. Now the next point that we are going to cover is the size of the soul. What do you think? The soul, does it have size or does it not have size? Because we explained that soul does not occupy space. Spirit does not occupy space. Then where is the question of size? But it is mentioned here, it does have a size. It is how much? 1/10,000th the tip of the hair. So can you imagine how small it will be? It is explained very good. Balagrasya shatabhagasya. Take the tip of the hair and cut it into 100 equal parts. Take one part out of it and cut it again into 100 equal parts. So how much is it? 100 multiplied by 100 is 10,000 parts in all. So out of that 10,000, take one part. That is the size of the soul. So you tell me, how big is it? Can't even see. But there is another reason for not seeing the soul. Not that it is so small, that's why you cannot see it. Because its nature is, it is beyond the senses. So even if it were bigger also in size, even then one would not be able to see it. And then look at the choice of words. This is the beauty of this literature. Everything has been so precisely described. Balagrasya shatabhagasya shatada kalpitasya cha. What is the meaning of kalpitasya cha? Kalpana means what? Imagine. So why does it say imagine? The reason it says imagine is because anyways you cannot see the soul. So you only have to imagine. You cannot actually take a knife and start cutting it. That's not going to happen. Because it doesn't come in your hand. That is the nature of the soul. But so imagine. See, this is one aspect by which you can judge the nature of this literature. That is why it is known as transcendental literature. Why? Because it is beyond space. See, 10,000, the tip of the hair is so minute. And even if it were more than that, even it was, supposing 1 inch big, even if it were 1 inch big, you still could not see it. You still could not see it. And therefore they have used the word imagine. When we come to another point, I will again explain another point in the same way. Then you will understand why this is known as transcendental. Transcendental literature. In Hindi, what do you say for transcendental literature? Divya. Divya is the word. If it is not divya, then the opposite word is, it is material. That is bhautik. So bhautik and divya. So if it is divya, then you cannot see it. And another word that has been used is chit kana. Kana means what? Atom. So atom is so small. But here it says chit kana. What is the meaning of adding the word chit to it? Chit means, see, the nature of the spirit is, it has got three compositions. Sat, Chit, Anand. It is made up of three ingredients. Sat means it is eternal. It was always existing. Chit means full of knowledge. Fully knowing everything. Why the question of knowledge comes? Because there is consciousness. Consciousness means to be aware, to know. So that is why it is Chit Kana. Chit means it knows everything. And Ananda. Ananda means, is it happiness? Yes, it is happiness, but it is more refined than happiness. Because happiness does not come alone. Happiness comes along with sorrow. They both come together. This world is known as a world of duality. Duality means things don't come alone, they come in pair. Day and night. Heat and cold. Like that. Everything comes in pairs. In our experience also we see that. But happiness will come with sorrow. That is why sometimes people wonder, I went to the temple, I prayed, I asked for happiness, then why am I suffering? Why is there sorrow in my life? My dear, it is a combo pack. You take one, the other comes free. वो मांगना नहीं पड़ता है, free में आ जाता है. That is how it is. So therefore, the nature of the soul is Ananda. Anand is unadulterated happiness. Happiness that is not mixed with sorrow. That is why the special word is used. So it is subtle in nature, atomic in size, but subtle in nature. That means we have got two bodies. Outer body is known as the gross body. What is this body made up of? Five items. Can you say what are they? Yes, Panchabhut. Air, earth, water, air, fire and space. Akash. Okay? But inside this there is another body. What is that made of? Man, Buddhi, Ahankar. MBA. Okay? So we are all MBAs. Everybody has Man, Buddhi, Ahankar. But this is of a subtle nature. Can you see the mind? Can you see the buddhi, intelligence? Ahankar is ego. You cannot see all these three things. So that is of a subtle nature. So see the spirit soul, how is it? First of all, it is so small that you cannot even see it. And even if you are able to see it, you still cannot see it because it is of a subtle nature. Material body minus consciousness is equal to dead body. The Mundaka Upanishad also speaks about the spirit soul. It is atomic in size and can be perceived only by perfect intelligence. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki. So it is explained that it is perceived only by perfect intelligence. What is this meaning of perfect intelligence? That means you can know it not by seeing with the eyes, but only by proper understanding. That is why it is not just intelligence, but perfect intelligence. That means intelligence to see and understand that which cannot be seen. Also, the soul is floating in 5 kinds of air. It is packed like that. Very wonderful packing. special packing. So what are the 5 kinds of air? It is explained as, they are known as Apana, Udana, Vyana, Samana, and one more thing is there. So these are the 5 kinds of air. So it is like, shock-proof packing. Packed like that. Apana, Prana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. These are the 5 kinds of airs. And where is it located? Where is it located? It is located, this is another verse which you have to pay attention and find out. There is a verse which says that Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. This comes in the 15th chapter. But there it is explained where it is located. Ishvara sarva bhutanam, bhuta means living entities, hrideshe. What is the word used? Hrideshe, not hriday. Hriday means in the heart. But it is not inside the heart, it is in the region of the heart. Now try to understand what is the significance of this wording. It's very important. The significance of this wording is, it is not inside the heart. See, that is why you understand that this is transcendental literature. At the time it was mentioned, written, there was nothing like heart transplantation. It has come only now. But when you transplant the heart, what happens? The heart which is not functioning is removed and another live heart is put over there. Doctors do that. Okay? Transplantation of heart. So what happens to the soul? If it is in the heart, you remove the heart, it will go away with the heart. But we know the person is the soul, not the body. So when you put another heart, you mean another person is coming inside? That does not happen. So what is actually happening? Supposing I am sitting in this chair and this chair is broken. What will I do? I will stand. And another chair is given, then I will sit. So the same thing happens with heart transplantation. When one heart is removed, the soul still remains there. It is in the region of the heart, it is not in the heart. See the significance of these words, hrideshe. So that is why these transcendental literature have very great significance and we have to read and understand them with proper guidance. Then we understand the import and the purport of these words. All energies of the body are emanating from the heart. Why? Because the soul is in the region of the heart. So it is from there all the energy comes. Sometimes medical science says the muscles of the heart are made of some kind of protein, so it will contract and expand, contract and expand. But can it do on its own? The soul is required. The energy is coming from the soul. Another one aspect, if you observe very carefully, when a person's brain stops functioning, what is such a person called as? Brain dead. But the person is not dead. Why? The soul is still there. Brain dead, like a vegetable. Cannot understand anything. Eyes are open, can see everything, but does not know anything. Nothing is registered. Brain dead person, vegetable living. But when the heart stops functioning, dead. Clinically dead. The soul has left the body. Then, no use keeping the body. Till the heart is pumping, till the soul is there, the person is still respected. They still maintain the body. They supply food. They take care of the body. They do everything for the body. But when the soul leaves the body, then the body is disposed of. Either it is burnt or it is buried. Some way or the other. So, see the significance of all these words. How carefully they have been chosen so that these are timeless literature. It doesn't matter if you read Gita after 10 lakh years. Even then, all the facts stated in the Gita will hold true. And even if you read it 20 billion years ago, even then the same conditions were persisting. They don't change. There is no updation for the Gita. Some other books written by human beings have to be updated. This doesn't need to be updated. The next point mentioned is modern science and Vedic science. Now, medical science, it tells us red blood corpuscles are pumped from the heart, the blood, and nourish all parts of the body. But it does not know that the soul is the source of all the energy. Remove the soul and the body is dead. The brain stops, it is brain dead. The soul, the heart stops, then person is clinically dead. That is what I explained. Next point that is explained is, never mistake the jiva, the individual soul, for the universal soul. What is the meaning of universal soul or super soul? God. We are parts of that God only. That is why our nature is the same. But there is a difference. We are minute, infinitesimal, and God is infinite. In Sanskrit, the words used are Vibhu and Anu. Vibhu means infinite, and Anu means size of an atom. Now, let me explain to you how it actually works. It is a little early to speak about it, but I'll still share something with you. Vishnu, there are how many kinds of Vishnu? Anybody knows? Very good. There are 3 Vishnus. Vishnu is not just one. Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So when the material creation starts, each universe is coming out from the pore of the skin of Mahavishnu. Can you imagine that? What comes out from the pore of our skin? Perspiration. Pasina nikalta hai na? So that is small drops of perspiration come. So these small drops coming from the pores of Mahavishnu is one universe. And this universe we cannot measure. We call it infinite. But that is one universe. Like that there are millions of universes coming out. And then this whole cosmic manifestation comes into being. But this cosmic manifestation, if it has to work, consciousness is required. So Mahavishnu enters. See, even the words are so carefully chosen. What is the word for entry? In Hindi, what do you write? Entry. Pravesh. So, actually this word, Pravishanti, is the Sanskrit word. Pravishanti is actually, the root word is Vishanti. Vishanti means to enter. Pravishanti means to enter. Okay? So, Vishanti iti Vishnu. That is why he is known as Vishnu. Because he is the life force. Only when he enters there is life, there is activity, there is motion. Otherwise everything is still, nothing works. So Pravishanti iti Vishnu, and first he enters the universe, the whole cosmic creation consisting of millions of universes. That is Mahavishnu. And he enters into each universe. That is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Garbha Udaka. Garbha means the womb. And Udaka means water. So each universe is half filled with water. Just as in the womb of a mother there is a liquid that is known as the aminal liquid, or some liquid it is known as, some medical term is there. So like that, he enters into that ocean and he remains over there. So then the universe is charged up and that comes into life. And then each living entity and every atom in the universe, he enters as Kshirodakshai Vishnu. He has a place within the universe and that is known as Kshirosagar, ocean of milk. And he lies in the middle of that, and from there he enters each atom, even non-living substances, he is there. And he enters each living entity as Paramatma. So you just see how detailed this science is. Can you find out all this from a laboratory experiment? How can you understand this? By the word of authority. And what is the authority we are following? Bhagavad Gita. Who has spoken the Bhagavad Gita? Lord Krishna. See, this is how knowledge flows. Spiritual knowledge flows like this. The next point that we are going to do is Hatha Yoga controls 5 kinds of life. Life air. We mentioned apana, pana, udana, all these things. So all these 5 kinds of life air is controlled by the practice of Hatha Yoga. And the purpose of Hatha Yoga is to liberate the soul from the entanglement of this life air. Air is matter. Soul is spirit. Spirit is trapped in matter. That is how a living entity functions. So at the time when there has to go out, liberation, so Hatha Yoga helps to liberate at will. A yogi, a Hatha yogi, can release the soul from within the body. There is a process, okay? Okay, so this part that we did now is concerning verse number 17. Now we will just take up verse number 18. Because we told that we are going to do 2 verses today. The first verse was, the soul cannot be killed. That is the theme of the first verse. Now the second verse which we are going to do, verse number 18, the theme is, the body cannot be saved. It will be destroyed. It will be killed. Either one of the two. Okay? But it cannot be saved. It cannot perpetually live like the soul. So let us read this verse. Antavat ime deha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya tasmad yudhyasva bharata. So what is Krishna telling? Let us see what is the translation of this verse. Translation says, the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. So this is the translation. Now let us just try to see what is the contents of this second verse, 18th verse, verse number 18. It says, body is perishable by nature. Then we have to know, how is this body acquired in the first place? How does the soul come to dwell within a body? It is explained, the soul gets a body according to his work or activity in the previous life. That is karma. According to what karma you perform, according to that you will get the next body. You can try to understand like this. Where do we live as human beings? We live in a house. So if you want to choose a house to live, will you get it free? You have to pay for it. So if you tell the estate agent, भैया एक घर दिखाना, तो he said, आपका budget क्या है? That is the first question he will ask. What is your budget? Because houses are available, but they are of different values. You can have a small hut, or you can have a small flat, or you can have a big bungalow or a penthouse. So many varieties are there. In a posh locality, it is more expensive. In an ordinary locality, it may be cheaper. In a suburb, it may be cheaper. In the heart of the city, it is more expensive. So what body is a soul going to get when the soul enters the body? That depends upon what activity that soul has done in the last life. According to that, Yamraj is the placement officer. So he will give you placement. And Yamraj has got an assistant. I think I mentioned this last time. What is the name of the assistant? Chitragupt. So he is maintaining detailed record of all the activities. So please try to understand. Bhagavad Gita is also telling you the same thing what is written in the mall. Mall में क्या लिखा रहता है? You are under CCTV surveillance. So Gita is also telling you the same thing. You are under CCTV surveillance. What is that? Chitragupt. He is watching each one and recording all that we are doing. So there is a full record of that you do. And at the end of the life, it is passed on to Yamraj. Yamraj will sit with that. What is it? क्या किया है जीवन भर में? How did you utilize your time? Please try to understand. How to utilize your time is the most important factor in life. What is limited in life? Time. Time is not unlimited. And just see, God is equal to everybody. How does He become equal to everybody? He has given 24 hours to all equally. Otherwise, we don't find equality. Some are born rich, some are born poor. Some are born healthy, some are born sick. Some look beautiful, some look ugly. So there is difference. And all that also comes by karma. But 24 hours in a day is equal to all. Prime Minister of India, 24 hours. President of USA, 24 hours. A beggar in the street of Mumbai, 24 hours. Nothing less, nothing more. Krishna is watching. God is watching. How are you using the 24-hour cycle? On a daily basis, what are you doing? So therefore, if we want to know about God, then we have to hear about God. And if we want to know about ourselves, we have to know about ourselves. That is also given in the Gita. If you want to know about yourself, that is self-realization. If you want to know about God, that is God realization. God realization is inclusive, no, self-realization is included in God realization. If you realize God, you will also realize yourself because you are part and parcel of God. So this is how the whole thing has been set up. So the soul gets a body according to his work and activity in the last life. So one has to follow principles of religion and scriptural injunctions, then we are hopeful of getting a better body, better accommodation in the next life. Okay? And that is why some people say, मैं अपने मन का मालिक हूँ, I can do what I want, I have got total freedom. Please don't mistake that to be freedom. You don't have the freedom to murder anybody. Scriptures don't permit that. You don't have the freedom to steal from other people's property. You don't have that freedom. Freedom is not for misuse, freedom is for proper use. You have the freedom to utilize your 24 hours, how you want to utilize. Utilize it in the right way. And the same thing happens in the country. If a person begins to misuse his freedom, what does the police do? Arrest him and put him in jail. If he is causing trouble to others, he is a nuisance to society. So he is put in jail. His freedom is restricted. Understand? So everything, freedom comes with responsibility. When you are given freedom, you have responsibility. School children have less freedom. College students have more freedom. They can wear the dress of their choice. They don't have a uniform in college, right? But they have the responsibility to wear a decent dress. That responsibility is there. Okay? So similarly, you cannot go dress as you want. You cannot go to the class in a swimming trunks. That is not the way to go to the classroom. Okay? So that responsibility one must have. So when responsibility is there, freedom also comes along with that. Soul is eternal. Yeah. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, the soul is eternal, a body cannot be eternal. So when you fight, You may have to die or you may have to kill the opponent. But for what are you fighting? The reason for fighting should not be for self-profit. The reason for fighting should be to defend the principles of dharma. And what is dharma? Dharma is everybody's intrinsic nature. What is the dharma of sugar? To be sweet. This sugar is salty in taste. How is that statement? It's an absurd statement. Sugar means it has to be sweet. If it is not sweet, it is not sugar. Fire is so cool. Can it be? It cannot be. It has to be hot. It has to emit light. That is why you burn a lamp when there is darkness. So there is some light, isn't it? So nature of dharma of fire is to give heat and light. So dharma of human being is what? To serve God according to the injunctions He has given us in this life. So therefore there is a standard code of conduct of behavior and people are expected to adhere to that. But the body has got a limitation. So within that limited time, one has to fulfill the goal of life. That is the race of life. You cannot waste your time. Time is racing. Time does not wait. Every second is ticking by. So along with that, we also have to make spiritual progress in our life. Otherwise, we are wasting our life. That is the point. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, soul is the real person, body is just an outer covering, grieve not for the body, and he says further, do not sacrifice dharma for bodily considerations. He is my guru, he is my grandfather, he is so and so. But what is he doing? Is he fighting for dharma or is he fighting for adharma? What were Drona and Bhishma doing? For whom were they fighting? They were actually devotees. They were nice people. But for whom were they fighting? For adharma. So, and what is Arjun defending the dharma? So whoever supports adharma, he is supposed to fight against them. He says, think like this. Don't think, oh, this person is my grandfather, I share my body with him, because that lineage is there. So don't be misled by such bodily considerations. Think on the platform of the soul. That is what he is again and again emphasizing that point. So, to understand the nature of the soul also, we say it is 1/10,000, the tip of the hair, you can't even see it. So the question is, who measured it? How do you know it is 1/10,000, the tip of the hair? All these are logical questions. But to say that somebody can exist even without a soul is illogical. So to understand this truth, you cannot apply logic. You cannot be illogical, but there is a third angle. You have to transcend logic, and that is known as translogical. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, one of our devotees of ISKCON, he actually has coined this beautiful word, translogic. So logic has its place, but you have to rise above logic and then you can understand these kind of truths. That is the nature of this truth. So I think now we can take up some questions. So we have done verses 17 and 18 today. If anybody has any questions or any doubt or anything to share, you can please. By 8:30 we will stop. Okay. If you have questions, means you are thinking. That is what we are told. And if you ask questions, what happens is, it resolves the doubt of so many others. And they say doubt is a demon. Because doubt, what does it do? It spoils your thought process. It hides the truth from us. Mura was the name of the demon who is known as doubt. And Krishna killed Mura. So what is another name for Krishna? Murari. Mura ko harne wala. Murari. That is another name. Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, today's talk was, I would say beyond excellence. It is really, clarified, so many things which we all need to know about the body, soul, the relations. But my, submission is that, the individual and universal linkages, which is, really the tough job for a commoner. But that again, related to the knowledge, the structured knowledge of, the spiritual knowledge, because not the knowledge just obtained from the books or from the soil. It is again, very, very relevant and very, very, accountable. But the universe also says that half knowledge is dangerous. This is where we make mistakes after mistakes, mistakes after mistake. So there need to be some need, that. As you rightly said, time is, it doesn't wait. Time and tide doesn't wait for anybody to, there is a limitation because you need to understand, that. So the final thing is that, the karma. Ultimately, what we got it, karma kiye ja, because the most important thing, the message of Bhagavad Gita is very, very important. Karma kiye ja, palka chinta mat kar. But how does I render this thing? Thank you.
Means how to perform karma, that is the question?
Yeah,
Okay.
Perfect karma. Because so that
Yeah.
When my reincarnation takes place,
Yes,
because I go to not just ordinary Chowpatty, but I go to Mahal.
Yeah. So that is why it's explained that you have to follow the scriptural injunctions. It is meant for our guidance. That is why this guidance is given. Actually, every country is guided by a constitution, which says what is to be done, what is not to be done. Okay, so the laws are framed on the constitution. And this constitution, who makes? That is where it comes. That originally, the first scriptural injunction that was given in Manu Samhita. See, Manu is man, the original word, Manu. So Manu Samhita, so there everything was put down in detail. So in no country of the world it can say that you can steal. People cannot make of their own. God has laid down certain norms. He has created this creation. He has sent us inside this, and He has given us guidance how to do. Therefore, there is a check and balance system also. It is not that we have to become blind. Blind faith nahi hona chahiye. So then there is the check and balance system is, first you have the scriptures. That is known as Shastra. Then you have sadhus who read and understand and explain the Shastras. And out of that association or a group of sadhus, one person will walk down, hold your hand and guide you. That is Guru. So Guru also is a sadhu, but Guru gives you individual care and attention. He will sit and explain to you, he will clear your doubts. So when you meet a Guru, you come across a Guru, you must have some knowledge of scriptures. If you want to buy gold, you must have some knowledge of gold. Otherwise, somebody will give you brass and tell you it is gold. You will get cheated. So one must not be cheated. Therefore, everybody must have some basic knowledge of scriptures. And if the Guru is speaking according to the scriptures, then he is bona fide. Otherwise, he is a fake. That is why so many people are cheating in the name of being a Guru. Because they know they command the faith of the person and then they try to exploit the person. That is happening. So therefore, that should not happen. Therefore, there is a check and balance system. There is Shastra, then there is sadhu. So sadhus are those people who live their life on the basis of the scriptures, on the basis of the Shastra. So they are a living example for everybody to follow and understand. But we also need personal guidance. So that is Guru for each one. So the whole thing is beautifully arranged. And how do you get a Guru? I have told earlier also, certainly not by Google search. Google cannot supply Guru. And no company can advertise. We are having stock of Gurus. Anybody can come and take a Guru. It doesn't happen like that. So, Guru comes not by Google search, but by soul search. You have to search your soul. You have to go in. अपने भीतर जाओ, अपने भीतर झाको. Inquire about the truth of life. Inquire about the reality. Try to rise above illusion. When you want to know what exactly is the truth, on what should I base my life, then even if that curiosity is ignited in your heart, Krishna gets the signal. He is sitting right inside your heart. He gets the signal. He says, here is a genuine bona fide seeker. And he will connect you to a bona fide Guru. This is how you get a Guru. This process is internal. It cannot be advertised. Nobody can say, Guru for sale, I am a Guru. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It doesn't happen like that. So this is how one is connected to a Guru. Narad Muni came when Dhruva went into the forest. Dhruva didn't call for Narad Muni. There was no mobile. There was no email. How did he come? The connection is established by Paramatma. When a sincere seeker is there, he will send a bona fide Guru in the life of that person. And the person will make progress. So that is the purpose of human life. To connect to God and to realize our true identity and to live on the basis of that realization, that is self-realization, and to understand and realize God. To see God in reality. Realize means in real terms, not imaginary, not speculation, but factually. That means if you believe in God, if you have that faith in God, then you must follow the directions given by God. Otherwise, it is, I will do what I want, but God is there in the temple. When I want, I'll go and put 10 rupees. Mera kaam ho jana. I will give you 5,000 rupees, give me 5 lakh rupees. That is not prayer. That is business. And if you try to cheat God, He knows how to cheat you better. He has got super intelligence. If you have got intelligence, He has got super intelligence. So we cannot play tricks with God. We have to, only one relation we have with God, and that is surrender. Surrender sincerely, and He reciprocates profusely. देने वाला जब भी देता, छप्पर फाड़ के देता है. Remember that. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay. So now just see whatever we have spoken today, Bhagavad Gita. What we are doing here is just giving you a brief introduction. There is much more to learn. So there is one of our volunteers who is standing there with this. This is Sutras for Self-Discovery. Discover yourself. अपने आप को पहचानो. Okay? For that there is a special course that is conducted. All the details is given in that. Just go and see the pamphlet. Discuss over there. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Now we can have Kirtan before darshan.
Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. जय श्री श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की। नमो विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती वरुण प्रचतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण।